Hey, welcome to our first psychic development day. I love the psychic development because it's, to me, refining and sharpening the tools that we already have, our intuition and our like the perception of those other senses that are there that we don't necessarily use. Today, we're going to be doing a personal practice as opposed to working with someone else. Um, and sorry, I was just like, is that true? Yes, that's true. That's what we're going to be doing today. And this I actually was taught in this workshop that I did. Um, that was derived from Drunvalo Melchizedek's work and the living in the heart. And I can't remember exactly the name of the workshop, but it was somewhat based on this book, although this book teaches a very specific healing method that we'll dive more into, especially when we do more work on our manifestation and whatnot. I absolutely love Drunvalo Melchizedek. This isn't the first time that I'm bringing him up. I talked about him when we were talking about the flower of life, and he's phenomenal. His stories can be very fantastical, very superhuman experiences, and that doesn't always translate well for everybody. Sometimes that creates more of a distance between what we believe superhuman needs to be. So just know that if you are going to pick up his books, he does have very, very out of this world, like synchronistic experiences because of the way he's chosen to live his life. And in his listening, he's been completely 100% dedicated to his listening. So it's quite inspiring for me. And again, these practices came from his workshop that I took. So let's go ahead and begin by just sitting comfortably, but sitting upright is best. And the reason why is because everything is a little bit more aligned that way energetically. So while you're still aligned when you're lying down, it can be easier to perceive things when you are sitting upright. So you're sitting upright. And like we talked about on Tuesday, for our ethics and integrity, we're going to start by cleansing and grounding our energy. Again, there's so many ways to do this. Feel free to smudge yourself, take a shower, whatever. We are going to use our unity breath to ground ourselves. So connecting first to Mother Earth. Again, so many ways to do this, but I like to send love and gratitude to the earth. So much love and gratitude for the earth and all of her beings. You can imagine that creates a tunnel of energy right down to the center of the earth. In the very core of the earth, the very center of the earth, there is a massive crystal, quartz crystal. Sometimes I like to imagine that I'm growing roots down from my feet, from my base, from my legs, from the lower part of me, and it's going all the way down in love, down and wrapping around that crystal at the center of the earth. As you continue to send your love for the earth, see if you can sense that love being returned to you from the earth herself. Equally grateful that you're here. Feeling that energy, that pure energy moving up through your bones, your body, your muscles, towards your heart. Moving through. And again, you can move it right to your heart and allow your heart to circulate that energy. You can move it all the way up to the top of your head and out if you'd like. Your choice, whatever works for you. Maintaining our connection to Mother Earth, we're going to now open up and connect to Father Sky. Showing deep love, deep appreciation for the sky and all the sky beings. Sending that love out. And then notice as that love is returned to you from all corners of the universe and beyond, returned to you. So equally grateful for your being here. It moves down through your nervous system, through your energetic body, through your spine, your spinal cord. Allowing that energy to move through, merging with that energy of Mother Earth within you. Deeply connected, these unlimited sources that are as grateful for your being as you are for theirs. You can take a moment right now if there's anything ailing you or uncomfortable in your body to intentionally direct that energy to that spot. Or perhaps you'd like to set the intention that wherever energy is needed most, it will go. Or just completely surrender and allow the energy to circulate through in whatever way. To see what you need in this moment. As we sit so connected, now imagine a light rain or waterfall of crystal pure light washing down the top of your head, moving all over the surface of your body, but also throughout the inner scape of your body, clearing, resolving, transmuting. Take your time with this. Visualize that water washing over you, or just decide that it's happening. Your imagination is a powerful tool. So if you feel to, you can practice seeing the water, or like a dream, seeing yourself under the water from a third party perspective. Perhaps you can start to recognize what comes natural for you. Is it easier to see it, easier to feel it, or easier to know it? Know that these can all change and shift, but it can be helpful to recognize which one is dominant now so that it's easier to work with later. So if you need to pop out of this visualization to take a note or write it down, feel free. If you're pretty sure you'll remember, then don't worry about it. Stay with that waterfall or rain. Can you sense, has it gone all the way through down to your toes? Or has it moved just through a certain part of your body so far? This is where we get a little more detailed. While we can intend it and visualize the water going all the way over us, perhaps we only feel it to our heart or from our head to our belly. So just check in and see if you can allow to continue to move. If it feels like there's a block, and remember, this is clear white light that can penetrate all. Sometimes that's enough, just that reminder. And sometimes it's not. You could look deeper. You're feeling a block in your belly, preventing the water to flow down to your hips and your legs. Breathe into it. And by breathe into it, what I mean by that, by what imagine, I imagine that that spot of tension, wherever it is, becomes a little lung. So when I breathe in, it expands, creates a little space. When I breathe out, it gently contracts. And I'll sit with that spot of tension and breathe into it in that way. Expanding as I inhale, contracting as I exhale, relaxing my shoulders or my jaw in case the tension starts moving to those spots, which for me, those are my spots that I usually hold tension. For you, it might be a lower back. Your hands might start falling, your feet, your toes might start gripping. Self-awareness is what this is. Refining the tool. And sometimes we're not ready to let the tension go. If you want to take it and make this a longer practice, you can always sit with that and maybe, think about why or what you don't want to let go of. But for today's practice, we're just going to allow it to just stay if you're finding this tension somewhere. We're going to continue to move around it. Continue to clear, resolve, transmute, using your imagination, using the visualization and the intention of this clear water, crystalline water moving through you, around you and through you. All the way down through the soles of your feet. Just notice any calm, any spaciousness, clarity, emptiness, or who knows, there might be other things that are popping up. But just be aware, just taking note, not judging it. Now I'll share with you some different techniques from this space. And while I shared that some of these practices are coming from Dranvalo and his teaching, some of them are also coming from theta healing and Reiki and actually all sorts of things. So just use what works for you. You're going to imagine along the column of your spine this network of knowing, your connection. And this connection of knowing, seeing, feeling, all of that can come right out through the top of your head, kind of like a submarine scope, and it can look around. This is one tool that we can use. It doesn't have to be through your entire spinal column. It can come from your heart. It can come from your head. This is just how I visualize it. So the center of my body lights up, and out at the top comes this scope. This scope can move anywhere. So for now, we're going to use the space that we're in. And look around, keeping your eyes closed, just using the scope. Just allow it to see for you. And please don't get discouraged if all you're seeing is black. We're not done yet. Now we're going to pull this scope back inside. Back inside again, whether it's your head, your heart, or maybe just inside of you is enough. You could just ask it, tell me what you saw. You might get more information now. You might not. Or perhaps you've entered into your thinking mind, remembering what's in the room around you. All is okay. And we have to start somewhere, and we have to practice. We could do the same thing by creating a little bubble or sphere of light above our head, just above our heads. We can send this sphere, like the scope, wherever. It can see for us. Again, we're learning techniques, so it's important not to get discouraged. Oftentimes, when we ask more specific questions, then we might get more answers. But for now, we're just practicing the technique. So we're using this sphere, this floating sphere. And this time we're going to lift the sphere. I want you to lift it above the roof of your house, apartment, condo, building, whatever you're in. Lift it up. Let it get an aerial view. If you're feeling sun, there's a knowing. Feel free to then visualize the sun. See it, whether like a painting or a dream. If you are feeling like you see the tops of many houses, and that's just a knowing, again, feel free to translate that to a vision. You can train your sight. Still rooted in your knowing or rooted in a feeling. Then you create the image, if that's something you feel to develop. Maybe you're feeling cold. Maybe it's not about what you're seeing, it's what you're sensing. We're going to bring that ball, that sphere, back, just hovering above our heads. If you'd like to bring it in, feel free to. It's just a simple crystal sphere. You can bring it into your mind, or you can just keep it above your head and say, okay, tell me what you saw. For me, I often find it easier to bring it into my physical body, or, at least that's what I visualize. And then I see. And if there's absolutely nothing still, let it be nothing. Now we're going to take that sphere, crystal sphere, and we're going to pop it up outside of the building that we're in again. And we're going to travel whatever direction you would like. The next town over. Find somewhere and decide that that's where you're going to just rest that sphere. You don't actually have to know where it is. And now you're going to see if you can attune to the sounds of that place. You can look, you can see if you can see where that sphere has landed. And or listen. Remember, there's no need to hear it all now. Maybe you'll hear it when the ball comes back to you, maybe not. Go ahead and bring that ball right back to you. Again, what did you see? What did you hear? See if you pick up on anything. And for my beloved skeptics out there, you might be rolling your eyes at yourself saying, well, of course, my mind is telling me I heard this or heard that. Part of psychic development is trust. Trust that it's happening. That's how it will build. That's how it will get stronger. When you believe yourself in the information you're receiving. Know that this can all be done in an instant. You can go to another place in the world in an instant. We don't actually need to visualize the travel time of our crystal sphere or submarine scope. Using your integrity and being ethical around where you go at all times. Now I would like you to pop out again, that little crystal sphere. And you're going to move far away to a forest, somewhere really far away, perhaps on the other side of the country, or maybe in another country altogether. You're just going to shift your awareness to a forest. Perhaps intuitively you know where the forest is. Perhaps you intentionally went to a specific forest. Just take notes, whether physical notes or just a mental note. Notice where you landed. This is a sphere of consciousness. You're bringing your consciousness, your awareness there. We have this ability as human beings. We're going to keep that ball right there. See if you can attune more of your senses to that place. Look around. Do you see anything? What is the feeling that you get in this particular forest? Do you hear anything? Sometimes it can help. So I'll invite you to try on this other technique. To imagine, once that awareness is there where you are, imagine that you're there. Feel your feet in that particular place. Walk. Perhaps you can use your hands to touch a leaf or bark, moss, or whatever is there. Bring yourself there. And again, if sight is something that you would like to develop, and you are someone who feels or who just knows, then everything you feel, you can paint a picture of in your mind to accompany that feeling. This is only going to establish greater psychic awareness. All right, go ahead, and we're going to come back, bringing that sphere back. Once again, if you didn't see anything, you can ask now, what did you see? And even if you did see, hear, feel, and know, still ask, was there anything I missed? Be open to what else was there. Okay, now we're going to take, again, you can see what worked better for you, whether it's the submarine or the sphere. Excuse me. And we're going to send this out once again and move to a beach somewhere sandy. And again, once that sphere of consciousness is there, then you can create the form so that you're standing there in that spot. Whether it's first person or third person view is really up to you. What's easier for you? And just in case you're uncertain what that means, it means, are you looking down and seeing your feet, looking down and seeing your hands, or are you seeing your whole body from an outside perspective, an outer body perspective? So once you're there, walk. See if you can feel the sand beneath your feet. Doesn't matter which beach you're on. Again, maybe you know, maybe you don't know. You can ask. That sphere knows all. You can ask that sphere, where am I? See if you get an answer. You might not today. You can ask. And whatever it is you hear, it's important that you just accept it and believe it. It doesn't mean you're always going to be right, but it is a first step in really accepting and deepening the development of these abilities. To walk, feel the sand. Can you feel the texture, the temperature? As you take a breath in, how does your body feel? Excuse me. Your body feel with your feet on the sand? What is the sky doing? Is it overcast? Sunny? Can you feel the sun if it's there, the warmth on your skin? And you take a nice deep breath in. Is there a saltiness in the air? Or a swampiness, a mossiness? Bring your awareness to your hands in that body. Can you feel a breeze? Feel free to walk towards the water. And you notice that different sensation as the water touches your toes or perhaps laps onto your legs. Where are you and what are you experiencing? Bend down and touch that water with your hands or touch the sand with your hands. Look up. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you sense? What effect does it have on your body to be there? What effect does it have on your nervous system to be there? Calmer, more excitable? Find a comfortable space, still in that beachy scene, to sit. Feel it. How did you choose to sit? Are you kneeling, legs crisscrossed, legs out? Is it completely flat? Are you feeling the unevenness of the sand? Or perhaps there was a smoothed out spot. Did you choose to sit on more grass than sand? Look around. Take in the information through all of your senses. Get as detailed as you can. This is the sharpening of the tool, these details. The slower we can go, the more detailed we can be, the more awareness we cultivate. You can feel the sand between your fingers. Or wiggle your toes in the sand. Or again, maybe you're closer to the water and your toes are actually just splashing in the water. Be where you are. Move if you're uncomfortable. Take nice deep breaths. Allow yourself to relax as you seek this information. Go ahead and bring that sphere right back to you, your physical body, in the room that you're on the Zoom call, wherever you're watching this recording from. Bring it right back. Maybe you don't want to leave yet, but just know you can always go back. They're coming back. And like always, what did I see? What did I hear? What did I smell? What did I feel? What did I know? And what did I miss? Once again, pouring or allowing ourselves to be under that waterfall of light, that rain. For me, I still have my little sphere floating above my head, and the rain is going over the sphere and over myself and through myself and through the sphere. I like to make sure that it's nice and clean, that sphere. Or again, if I was using the scope, I would be doing the same thing with the scope. Whatever tool I'm using, even if it's an energetic visualized tool, I'm clearing it. I'm allowing that water to clear and bring all of my energy, all of my consciousness back to me. So I'm not leaving parts of myself in a forest over there, and a beach over there, or a house over there. It's all back to me, all back to me, all back to me. You could say it to make sure. And say, like, I bring it all back. I call it all back. Just allow that water to come all the way back. Clearing, clearing, clearing. And by doing this, I'm also cutting cords, any energetic cords. So like I said, no parts of me are anywhere. I'm cutting cords all through this little waterfall of light crystal water. Again, that sphere, you can pop it into your head, into your heart. You can let it fly away. You could just let it pop. I don't know. We just made it up. So it's there whenever we want to, because that's the power of our imagination. But it is a tool that you're using. So like anything else, you're developing a relationship with. So if it feels more special, more sacred, more important, to like put it in a box, and that's you want your practice to be that, or you put it back into yourself, then do it. It's whatever you decide for you. This is your medicine that you're cultivating, your relationships that you're developing with these tools of sight and these tools of consciousness. So keeping that water flowing until you feel nice and clear. And again, this can be done in an instant, and it might some days take 10 minutes because it's harder to concentrate, harder to focus. But allow it to all relax, or your body to relax, to receive all of that clearing. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. You can come back. As low key choking on the beach. Got a bug. No, I'm just kidding. So before we go, I'd love to hear, does anybody have anything they want to share? Any experience, anything that was easier or more challenging? You don't have to. Okay, then. No? Go ahead.
I was just going to say thank you for the reminder. It's just a reminder for me just of our kind of infinite potential and power, and how we're able to actually go anywhere and do anything as being a part of infinite consciousness, and that we're so much more than this physical reality. So we do have the ability, it's infinite. And so it's just a great reminder again of all the infinite resources that are available to us. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes. I'm glad you can see it or feel it or know it.
Yeah, not, it's like those skills are not refined or honed at all. So it's kind of scattered, and there's a big mix of distraction and, here, there, what's imagination, what's, actually my astral body going and being in those places. And then there's sometimes a kind of intuitive knowing, like, oh yeah, there's a deeper power here and there's a deeper knowing here. But these are obviously things that we can develop and stabilize and hone and rest there longer with practice and time. So
Yeah, absolutely. And it's I really want to say too, it's important to not discredit imagination, because that's the foundation of it all. So sometimes it's like, maybe I'm just imagining this. Let yourself imagine it. That's how we start. That's how we allow ourselves to actually then get into those spaces. Imagination is one of the biggest shamanic tools.
yeah. And everything we see, hear, feel, taste, and touch is source's imagination in any case. So
Yeah, thanks so much. Anybody else want to share? Or pop off? No? Maybe. Jessica? No. Okay. All right. Well, have a great week. and rest of your week. Thank you so much for being here, and feel free to, revisit this video again and again, and do the practice, because sometimes when we do it on our own, our natural desire is going to be to rush it because we just want to get there. But it's part of the slow that's really important, to allow ourselves fully to get to these places. And you can just swap out whether it's a beach or a mountain or wherever, just to have that practice. But I will see you next week for our next teaching. Bye.
Have a great week, everyone.
Yeah. Love you.
Bye, everyone. A lot of love. Much love.